A question I get a lot from my students is, hey, do you know any good shows or movies I could watch to learn Spanish? But what a question, because what works for me may not work for you. Choosing the right content to watch depends on 3 factors. Stay until the end of the video, we're going to talk about all 3 today. There are 3 main factors that you should consider before choosing a show to learn a language. Your own personal taste, of course, the dialect or variant that you want to focus on, and your level. You'll need to consider all 3 to find not only what to watch, but how to watch it to get the most out of it. There is a lot of content in your target language out there, whether it is on the internet, television, or books. Movies and TV series seem to be everyone's favorite. I often get asked for recommendations, but the truth is every person has different interests. And first of all, you should pick something that you like. When it comes to Spanish, many people like to watch telenovelas, of course, but there are many new series as well on Netflix or other streaming platforms, which are mostly directed to adults. If you are younger or you aren't that much into explicit content, I recommend animated films like Disney or Pixar. You can expect a good script while they're appropriate for all ages. The second factor to consider is the variant or dialect that you want to focus on. Think for a second what your goals are. Are you traveling to Argentina soon? Then try to find movies produced in this country. Are people in your community mostly from Puerto Rico? Then it would be a good idea to watch Puerto Rican shows. On the other hand, if you're looking for something neutral, then I recommend staying away from shows that use too much slang. For example, Club de Cuervos is funny and entertaining, but they use a lot of Mexican slang. Documentaries and big franchise series and films tend to use more standard words that are known in most countries, and they avoid slang. The third factor to consider is your level. Are you a beginner, intermediate, or advanced? If you're watching a show with a lot of slang and idiomatic expressions, that may be more difficult to understand. A show that would be more suitable for a beginner learner could be a documentary, since, as we just mentioned, they use a more standard version of the language. Narrators also generally speak slowly during a documentary, but not everyone likes documentaries. And the point is to watch something that you like. The problem is, when you're a beginner and you're watching a show for native speakers, it feels like this.
Pero Fernando, tú me prometiste que íbamos a casarnos. No puedes irte a España en este momento. Lo siento, Catalina, pero debo irme. Tengo asuntos muy importantes que atender. La señora María Antonieta me dijo que tú tenías una esposa e hijos en España. Es verdad. Pero ya te lo he dicho que mi padre está muy enfermo. Debo irme.
It all sounds like one long word. At first, it is difficult to tell where a word ends and where the next one starts, because you haven't yet acquired enough vocabulary. What you could do is watch the show or a part of a show more than once. The first time, to get familiar with the way the words sound. The second time, you can write the new words down, or you could make flashcards. You could try with subtitles or without them. It takes time, but if you're patient and consistent, you'll see results. After a few weeks or months, your vocabulary will have broadened, and it will feel more like this.
Pero Fernando, tú me prometiste que íbamos a casarnos. No puedes irte a España en este momento. Lo siento, Catalina, pero debo irme. Tengo asuntos muy importantes que atender. La señora María Antonieta me dijo que tú tenías una esposa e hijos en España. Es verdad. Pero ya te lo he dicho que mi padre está muy enfermo. Debo irme.
This sounds like a lot of work. Are there any tools that may help optimize this process? LingoPie is a platform that contains a variety of tools to learn different languages while watching your favorite movies and series. The main feature is double interactive subtitles that stop automatically when you place the cursor on a word. It allows you to create flashcards by simply clicking on the word. You can later use these flashcards to review and test your knowledge using the pop quiz. If you feel like it's going too fast, you can slow it down.
Capaz de hacerle eso al Ramiro. ¿Y si es del primo? El primo.
You can also use the internal browser to access the content by dialect, level, genre, or duration. LingoPie contains a beautifully curated catalog of movies, series, and music. But the best part for me is that you can use the extension with your Netflix account to learn while watching some of your favorite shows. If you want to try it, LingoPie offers a 7-day free trial, and you can use the link in the description for a discount. Thank you, LingoPie, for sponsoring this video. One more thing. Beginners often ask whether they should watch shows for children since they seem to be easier. That's not always the case, since a language learner is limited in grammar constructions. As adults, we are often taught the easy grammar first, and then we move on to more complicated structures, while native speakers use and understand a variety of tenses and structures, even at a very young age. That's the reason a children's show will not necessarily be optimal for an adult language learner, unless it was created for kids who learn the language. Remember this girl? An alternative is, believe it or not, any of the Star Wars films. Have you noticed how short the dialects are? No, yo soy tu padre. Any film with this kind of short dialogue will be easier to grasp. And there's one last thing that you should not do as a beginner. Don't try to watch the whole episode or movie at first. It sounds intimidating and you won't get much from it. Split the show into scenes or sections and re-watch that scene several times. Try with and without subtitles, taking notes, making flashcards. By the third or fourth time that you watch it, you should be able to understand much more than the first time, without even reading the subtitles. And that's it! Search for content that you like, that makes sense with your current level and your goals, and then just split it into sections. Experiment watching it more than once. I hope this helps, especially if you're a beginner or an intermediate learner. If you have any favorite series or movies that have helped you learn Spanish, let me know in the comments. Good vibes to everyone out there, and I'll see you on the next video. Hasta la próxima!